I am about to show you a very fascinating project. This is obviously a brine project, as everybody knows. We fully own, there's no option payments or anything like that. It's a very large resource, like the fifth biggest in the world in terms of brine, and like the sixth in high grade, so it's big and has high grade, has very low impurities. We are on the path to development. We are actually building a pilot plant that will be operational next month. We plan to use simple evaporation technology, the one that has been well known by other producers, because we found a larger and in portion higher grade resource. So those numbers will favorably change in the next iteration. We are using only a very small percentage of our resource. We're granted tax stability for 30 years. That shouldn't affect the future because the taxation is where it was. Now, I have to say, though, that this is an emergency measure. It definitively should not have any impact on companies like us. This is what is called the Lithium Triangle in Argentina, Chile, and Bolivia. And there are many projects, and most of the high-quality brine projects are located in one of these three countries. We are one of the few companies that actually control the entire salar. So the mining permit is already granted. There's actually no inhabitants in the area because of the location where it is remote. The project is composed of a salt flat that is about 35 kilometers in length and is surrounded by lakes to the north and to the south. Now they look all flat from the satellite perspective, but actually this is the lowest point. This is higher, and this is even higher. So you're looking at different basins in different space, in different elevation. I really consider that it was very difficult, almost impossible, to have any lithium. These lakes are not water. These lakes are actually brine, and those lakes are fed by hot springs, not fed by rainwater. And that hot springs are what provide a unique chemistry to this deposit. What you see here is what I like to call a lithium machine. And when you see lithium deposits in the Puna Plateau, they are all somewhere around 20 to 60,000 years old. This is the only active deposit that I have seen. So brine is being concentrated today, and is formed by different geological units. Those geological units have porous space. That porous space is filled by brine. We have completed drilling all the way down 350 meters, and we found brine all the way across. And what you see here are the different geological units and the rocks that constitute each one of these units. Each one of these rocks contains a certain amount of brine in the porous space. That allows us to do two resource estimation. One in the north, a little bit short of 1 million tons, with an average grade of 1,000 milligrams per liter. That area was only drilled down about 100 meters. To be more or less clear, the measure and indicator, which is actually the yellow and the red, the infer is the blue, is mostly located on surface or near surface. This is to give you an idea where the resource is located. So it goes all the way from surface, where you have those lakes, all the way down to 600 meters deep. This is giving us an idea where the project is located in size. Sabuye here is a Chinese project that is also fairly large. There is a bit of valuation. What it is in green is actually mines in production, and what it is in blue are projects. Our project is 2 times repeated here. The high-grade core is actually the second, highest grade, project worldwide. And the average is actually the 6th. So when you combine grade, size, this is one of the best projects, undeveloped projects in the world. So what is very important is that higher magnesium and higher sulfides produce higher operational cost. You actually can follow a track to zero with lower operational cost. Outside this line, nobody was able to put a project in production. Okay? The impurities is directly related to processing the brine. You just remember this chart, ask the magnesium sulfate and the magnesium lithium and the sulfate lithium ratio, and put it there, and you will see if you have a case or not. These are the numbers of the historical PEA. I just put them here as a reference. As a matter of fact, those numbers were mining originally a lower grade brine. Now we can start with a higher grade core that would improve slightly the numbers. We're going to be located here, somewhere around the lowest cost producer worldwide. And important to say, Argentina has a very low royalty structure, okay? It will not make any effect in our operational cost. And therefore, when you take all costs included, we are in the lowest quartile of operational costs for sure. We have spent already about $25 million, so we have been making good investment in the road and, of course, our full operational camp. We have completed an hydrogeological model. The hydrogeological model is critical to basically do two things, an environmental report and a mine plan. So what we wanted to do is to establish an hydrogeological model that let us know how and if the water levels are going to decrease. What you see there in crosses are actually the different wells that are required. We can take away enough brine to produce 60,000 tons of lithium carbonate, and yet the water levels are less affected than they are in the other salars because of the massive inflow of new water and new brine from hot springs in the region. So what you see there is one example of what a production well looks like. We only need 5 of those to put the entire project in production. This capacity is only found in Atacama and also in FMC. It's our evaporation string. As a matter of fact, we are again building more ponds now as we speak in construction there. Final production will be probably somewhere around 17 ponds to actually have the full production to final. Originally, we got our first environmental report approval in 2016. Now we renew that same approval, updated with the further work that we are doing. Realistically, the whole environmental process will be completed for mining in approximately 6 months. 3Q project looks like that. Not many bears outside. Looks like that. So it's not a wetland. We care and we are very concerned about wetlands, and actually there are wetlands outside our mineral property that need to be protected, but all the work that we are going to do, proven by the baseline that we have completed, will not have any effect on those. So I'm very proud to show you here the 2 living species that you have here. This is a lizard, and these are bacteria. That's what we found in the region. We have a very strong community program. We are the #1 employer in the town. So we do visits to the project. We show them what we are doing. We do training courses in different areas, not only for our own benefit, that is for people that would work for us. And actually it's very much welcome because the community is needed for jobs and ways of life. I believe that in order to get $500 million to develop this, the way to do it is with a partner, okay? So when people say, why, if the project is so good, why you didn't secure a partner already? Well, because there are many potential partners that are very interested, and the serious partners have important, serious questions. The more your questions you answer, the more valuable your project is. This is the next lithium mine that will open. We are actually in the process of selecting an engineering company for the final feasibility study. Our pilot plant will be operational next month, but on site, because of the moving of the parts and customs and the end of the year will get us in between, will be a little bit probably into next year. The next stage will be to study the geochemistry, that is how these mines do not run out of liquid. At the rate that we will be pumping out liquid, you could do it for 1,000 years. That's not the point. The point is how the lithium will be changing its grade as you deplete the deposit. So finally, we also plan to drill more on the high-grade core. So it would be very good to get a lot of this high-grade material to mine first to pay the banks and all those fellows. That's a bit of our capital structure. We have good money in the bank. We have $50 million. This is very important when you are sitting to discuss a joint venture agreement with any potential partner. So we are not strained, we are not stopping, we are not waiting for anything. We are developing this project, and we are selecting our best strategy. We have been involved for a long time in the lithium business. This is not even our first discovery. This is our second discovery. This discovery in particular is very large, is very high grade. The low impurities assure you not only low-cost production, but also easy processing, which means easy to put in production. We own 100% of it. We are looking for a holistic partner, something that will actually finance the whole project, and we are on track on our objectives. Thank you very much. Of course, offer for questions and to the panel too.